Hi, I'm Ashley Phelps Timberlake, class of 1990 and Director of Alumni Relations. I'm so excited to be joined today by Christy Hedgpeth. She is also a fellow classmate from the class of 1990 and wonderful alum. Christy is someone that I would say was the most well-rounded student here at Westchester, not only making lots of achievements and accomplishments in academics. She was our salutatorian. I remember this. We might have been competing for it, I don't know. She also has tons of athletic abilities that she contributed to Westchester in really all sports. She was inducted into our Athletic Hall of Fame in its inaugural class for basketball, but again, she contributed in multiple sports while a student here. So we're so glad to have her. She also kind of continued with her sports and academic achievements beyond Westchester. She attended Stanford University on a full basketball scholarship. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit more about kind of where she has been since then. So on that note, tell us about your life and the path that you have taken since graduating from Westchester.
Sure, we'll be happy to. And first of all, thank you for having me. It is pretty fun to be back on campus and to see all the changes and to spend time with you. So since Westchester, which provided an amazing foundation for me, as you mentioned, I went to college at Stanford, played basketball there. That was just an incredible opportunity that I think Westchester prepared me for, especially academically. I felt incredibly well prepared. And then I helped start a women's professional basketball league. At that time, there was nothing in the U.S. for women to play professionally called the ABL. And then I played in the league for 3 years. And that was pretty cool to get paid to play basketball.
Yeah.
And then eventually I realized that I needed to sort of think about my professional career, and I went to business school. I got my MBA at Duke, came back to North Carolina, which was fun. And I knew that I wanted to have a business career in sports and really have that thread throughout my career, which has been a few decades now. I'm happy to say I've been able to have a full career in sports business, different facets of it. The first was athletic apparel and footwear, so Under Armour, Spalding, and a couple of others. And then now I'm more in the sports properties line of kind of sports business. So I work at the NBA, and right now I'm the COO of the WNBA.
Right. Big deal.
Yeah. I don't know. I love it though, but I think it was just so much about understanding what you love to do and really figuring out how to make a career out of it. I think was really the lesson for me.
Right. And I know back in school, you were always so passionate about really everything, sports being one of them. So I'm so glad that you're able to do what you love as your profession. That's fantastic.
Well, thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about kind of your thoughts on how Westchester prepared you for that academic piece, for, professionally, socially. Give us a little more information about that, because I know you were what we call one of those lifers, so you started early. So just tell us a little bit more about your experience and how you felt like that was a good transition later on.
Yeah, I started out in kindergarten, and then you joined a couple years later, and we went all the way through as seniors and graduated. For me, Westchester laid an incredible foundation, and I know that's familiar to you and probably a lot of people listening to this, but essentially Westchester is all about growth and development of the whole person.
Yes.
And so, I felt really fortunate to have amazing teachers, first and foremost, great other, students like you. I remember just really, we always studied together and pushed each other. Fantastic sports programming. And that really gives every athlete, even if you may not go on to play in college, but everyone an opportunity to play sports.
Yes.
Which I think is incredibly formative and important. There's so many lessons that you learn. And then I think socially, just lifelong friends like you and others, but that really sort of that whole person approach, I think was something that I'm so grateful for and that Westchester really fostered. And I'm really, really proud of it.
Right. And we were definitely a family. Definitely part of each other's families. But I do remember us challenging each other.
Yes.
And, what'd you get on that math test? Especially, what'd you get on that math test? So, but I loved that because I think we were supportive and encouraging and wanted to see all each other succeed.
Without question. Without
And,
question.
Yeah, it's fun to think back of that to that.
Yes.
All right, tell us or relive for us one of your favorite memories from Westchester.
Well, I have so many. Some of them I can't talk about on tape, but I think I'll go to probably one of my earliest,
Okay.
which was when I was really young. The Hunter family, Rob Hunter and Jill Hunter
Yes.
and Steve Grimm, a lot of those guys were in high school and they were playing on the boys basketball team. And also Jerry Coble,
Yes.
Cornwell, and
Yes.
others were playing on the girls basketball team. And I just like looked forward to going to the games.
sure.
I begged my parents to take me or the Hunters to drag me along. And I just remember being in the old gym and, you know, playing around underneath on the bleachers, seeing the cheerleaders, seeing all the parents, the teachers coming, the music playing, and that atmosphere, that community. And I just dreamed of, oh my gosh, maybe one day I can play on these teams. And I would just like live for halftime to go out and be able to shoot hoops at halftime. And I just saw that that's really an experience that I wanted to have. And it seemed so far away, but obviously then we ended up in high school and we did that. But it was just that community feel and just the vibrancy of the people and the campus and everyone sort of coming together around sports.
Right. And I think you would be glad to know that, you know, by working here now and being an alum, I see it's still like that today. And when it came to choosing a school for my children, that's what I loved about Westchester, because as much as we have changed and grown over the years, it's still the same feel. And I think that probably anybody would tell you that the best part of Westchester is the family and the community. And, you know, like you said, you started young, took it to the next level, won state championships in high school, and then went on a collegiate level at Stanford. Y'all won the national championship.
We did.
While you were there, and you were a
did.
starter on the team. So I can't even imagine that level of excitement, but it's really great how you just kind of stepped it up at each level.
Well, I felt prepared. I truly did. And I mean, we often talk about this. I mean, we had really high expectations from our teachers.
You did.
We had high expectations for ourselves.
Yes.
Academically, and in many ways, you know, I mean, college was just a natural step, and it wasn't harder necessarily than Westchester because we've been so well prepared.
Yes.
Having exams starting in the 7th grade for every single subject, you know, twice a year. That's all you can ask for.
That's
for
right.
A place like Westchester to prepare you and be really ready for the next step.
Right. And to allow you to be well-rounded.
Yes.
You know, not just have our, you know, nose stuck in a book all the time.
Totally.
You know, we were encouraged to participate in, you know, multiple sports and, you know, arts and everything. So it's important. So what is something that you learned or experienced at Westchester that has stuck with you since graduating? And I know you've already kind of alluded to several of those things. But
Yeah, I think a couple things. One is the balance.
yes.
The balance, because no matter what, whether you're a parent, really, really into your career, maybe have outside interests, or all of the above.
Yeah.
As you get older, you have to be able to balance the different priorities in your life. And so, gosh, we had our share of good times too.
We did, sure.
On the weekends, and spring breaks, and summers.
Yeah.
And that was the fun, the social aspect of balance, along with the academics that we've talked about, as well as the athletics. So I think that, and then I think secondly, the pursuit of excellence.
Yes.
And that is something that sticks with me today. It drives me no matter what I'm doing. I want to really hit a higher level and help bring others around me and lead others to aspire to the highest level. Because I think life is about potential. And one of the most amazing things is to strive for your individual potential, whatever that is.
Right.
And what is that excellence for you?
Right.
And I think there's just
Because
no
it's
doubt.
not the same for everybody.
It's not the same for everyone, and Westchester instilled that in all of us.
Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
So, what advice, and you did just give a little bit advice there, I think, but what advice would you give a current Westchester student?
Take advantage of what you have here in this school and these people that are investing in you and that care about you. Obviously, your parents are a huge part of that. So take advantage of what you've been given and to whom much is given, much is expected.
Sure.
So really, really leaning into that and take advantage of that opportunity to grow as a person. And I think this idea that I was talking about earlier about striving for excellence for you, what I think it can do is create options for you.
Right.
So as you start developing as a person here, figuring out who you are, and figuring out what you're going to do in the future, and who do you want to be, what do you want to do, really focusing on total growth and development gives
Right.
you options.
Sure.
Whether that's college options or career options or where do you want to live. And so that would be a few things that really stand out for me that I would share with current students.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for
My
joining
pleasure.
us today. As always, it's just nice to spend time with you as a friend, but also as an alum, and we appreciate you chatting with us about what Westchester has meant to you, and thanks again.
My pleasure. Go Wildcats.